Welcome, everyone. Austin here with you with Dr. George Grant, PhD, former professor of the University of Toronto. Incredible history of 35 years working in this space. But we're going to give it a minute, Dr. Grant. First of all, how you doing tonight? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Austin, for the invitation.
I'm excited to talk about this tonight. I love bringing up topics that are super relevant and important, but may not be on everybody's radar. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of news and chatter and things right now. And what we wanted to do something different and special and really empower people. We just believe in empowering people, not only, physically, but psychologically. But tonight we're going to talk about the physical empowerment. Dr. Grant, while we're warming up here, you hail from Toronto. Do you want to talk about that a little bit before we get in, give people a chance to get on and, get into the conversation with us tonight? And how you doing tonight? So we'll say hello.
I'm doing great, thank you. Yes, it's all right. I do live in Richmond Hill, which is just 30 minutes north of Toronto. It's a town of about 150,000 people. Toronto is, as you know, is a very huge metropolitan of 2.5 million people. Okay, so this is little north, little nicer, quieter. And I lived here in this area for almost like 30 plus years. And before that, I lived in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan, Canada for 10 years. And before that, I lived in British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia for 10 years. That's my journey in the past, almost like 49 years here in Canada. Okay. And you know my story.
Yes.
If I go back almost like 52 years ago, I was 18 years young. My mother passed away when she was in her early 40s. Heart problems, diabetes, blood pressure. So I was at age 18 with no mom, orphaned. And my dad also passed away in his late 50s. And I have never seen my grandparents from both sides. So I don't know what grandparents, look like. From actually 6-7 generations, I have never seen any one of them. My immediate grandparents and grandparents and so on. So that's my history in genetically. Thank God for a science called epigenetics, which is not the genes that determine your destiny. It's epigenetics, how you express and how you turn your genes on or off. And I dedicated to learn about how I can overcome these bad genes when I was 18. And I dedicated my life to find out what is that I could have done to save my mom and dad from dying at this early age. Because as you know, Austin, we're supposed to live till age 120 and beyond. So people, when they die at 40 or 50 or 60, this is like half the life they're supposed to live. So we're not supposed to do that. Even now, life insurance tables said that men supposed to live till 75, 76, women supposed to live till 80. And I guess women lives longer than men because they cause us stress. And I'm just kidding. Because women tend to live longer than men, genetically speaking. And we can extend this life from 75 to 85 to 110, 120, even though when we had bad genes. How? Basically, we follow the Wellness IQ at the academyofwellness.com. That's a collection of everything I've learned in the past 4 years, Austin. So 10 questions on the Wellness IQ at the academyofwellness.com. People go through these 10 questions and they look at it and say, is that simple? I can actually score over 80%. I can live longer. Yes, it is simple because you are what you eat. You are what you do not eat, and you are what's eating you for stress.
And say that again. Let's say that again. I really love that.
Yeah, it's so in my life, I earned 3 doctorates. The first one at the University of Toronto was on stress management, 1995. And we all have stress. In fact, Hans Selye, the father of stress, said, the absence of stress is death. So we will get rid of all of the stress when we die. So then we have to learn how to cope with it. We have to learn how to deal with it. We have to, if you're living in a stressful time right now, okay, it is what it is. Get with it and learn how to live with this kind of stress. Convert the distress into eustress. Convert bad stress to good stress. So it's all on the Wellness IQ, how to handle the stress. And we're supposed to drink lots of water. half our body ounces in water. We're supposed to do simple breathing, belly breathing. I call it quantum deep breathing, which is most people do not know how to do. So we teach people how to do the breathing simply to nourish the brain that needs, oxygen. And most of my clients, as you know, 10,000 here in Canada, 10,000 overseas, 85%, Austin, do not know how to breathe properly. And 85% drink less than 6 or 5 glasses of water per day. But they drink coffee, they drink pop, they drink all of juices, which I don't recommend at all because it gives you insulin resistance, it gives you high fructose kind of, corn syrup, and all of this bad stuff. So we're going to go back to basic. We'll have to drink like pure, clean, filtered water. We have to do the breathing. We have to learn about the food. It's simple, easy to do stuff. 10 questions. I know you scored very high because you walk and you talk. You're a very healthy guy, okay, at your young age. But it's all about following these 10 questions on the Wellness IQ. And then they come to us, and then we do what's called the virtual, scan using this particular device here, okay, which is called the AO Mobile Virtual. Doesn't matter where they live in the world.
And I want to pause for 1 minute. I want to pause for 1 minute, Dr. Grant, because I love this. I want to let everyone know right after this, we're going to do a live Zoom call with Dr. Grant, because I want you to get the benefit of this brilliant man who's dedicated his life to healing and natural healing. And I want to share this, Dr. Grant, because you spent time as a senior consultant for the FDA and the CDC. You have incredible perspective on health, you're on how the body works, what heals it. And we're going to get into that tonight on the boosting your immune system. So I just want to make sure everybody knows, if Tony can share that link here, I want to make sure if you want to get in a live Q&A after this, be sure and do this right now. You'll get the Zoom link and you'll be able to join us. So Dr. Grant, please tell us about the scan, because we did that. We did a live on this. People were very interested in it. I have people still wanting to do this. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to get into natural ways to boost your immune system. We're going to cover, the general knowledge, the myths, and we're going to get into what really boosts your immune system. Dr. Grant.
Thank you, Austin. In the past 35 years, I use one of the latest state-of-the-art biofeedback scans. You name it, the ES Tech, EIS, Skio, Indigo. We used the iCap. We used Nerve Express. We used bioresonance biofeedback devices. In the past 5-6 months or so, I acquired this device, which is called the Mobile Virtual AO Scan. We can do this now virtually all over the world through Zoom or even by phone. And this correlates to a CBC blood test, correlate to any of the other devices that I've just mentioned, correlates with MRI results, CAT scan, PET scan, X-ray, correlates with all of the other recent advances. And then this gives us an indication through 3 different analyses. The first one is voice analysis. The second one is through, we call it vital analysis. It's comparable to a CBC blood test. The third one called comprehensive scan that give us 37 3-dimensional pictures in every major organ in our body. So, when I done this for you, Austin, you said, wow. I only get the word wow every time we do the scan, because 37 organs done within the hour of the scan is huge information. And then they'll show you how healthy every organ is. So if you're afraid of diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if you have pain, if you have fibromyalgia, MS, lupus, whatever, any autoimmune disease that you have, this particular device is not diagnostic device. It does not correlate, detect or correct like any problems. It's an educational tool to tell the person what is it that they eat. It will confirm the Wellness IQ. Before they tell me the results of the Wellness IQ, I can tell them, oh, you're drinking soda, or do you eat Oreos, or do you eat any of this bad stuff? So we can actually detect this just by doing the virtual frequency energy scan. This is the work from Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and Dr. Ronald Rife. Dr. Rife did a lot of work on energy and frequency. In fact, he was known to develop what's called the right frequency. So this device has all of the stuff that's been developed, a collaboration between Russian who did the work on the astronauts in Russia, and also American scientists and other scientists from Europe and also Canada. So it's an energy and frequency device that detect the main imbalance in the body. So we can tell the clients, here's the challenge. You need to compare and you need to improve your diet, exercise, breathing, water intake. It's an educational tool, Austin, as you know. It's not diagnostic. We do not tell anybody that this is for diagnostic purposes. I'm sure you read this on our website. We care, we serve, we educate. We do not medicate, we do not operate, we do not irradiate, we do not do any of the stuff. So basically our approach is all prevention, not intervention. It's all about self-care, not crisis care. That is what Academy of Wellness is all about. And when we collaborate together, I was so impressed with your Flashpoint information. I recommended this to all my clients, thousands of clients worldwide in Canada. And everybody listening to us, they should go to Austin's website and look at the Flashpoints. I mean, every person should know this. And Austin he's an expert when it comes to leadership skills, communication skills. And if you combine that with our knowledge in nutrition, I think we have a good team here. We help people in both aspects. There is a synergy here between us to help people on their wellness journey to live beyond 111 or even 120, even though they had bad genes as I had from my parents and grandparents.
Yes, amen to that. And you actually spent some time working in hospitals helping people reverse arterial sclerosis. Is that correct?
I did not actually work in a hospital, but I was referred because I did 24 books or so. One of my co-authors invited me to go to one of the largest hospitals in Canada here called Sunnybrook, which is in Toronto, to deal with somebody who had 99% clogged arteries. I do not work for the hospital, but I went to consult with him because he was sent to hospice after taking 28 meds. He had 99% clogged arteries. He done 2 bypass. He done 2 stents. Cardiologists did everything that they can in their own, knowledge to help him, but he could not. He was diabetic. He had hypertension. He had clogged arteries. He was taking blood thinners. He was taking medication for pain, for diabetes, for blood pressure. He was taking 28 meds. They could not give him any more.
By the way, 28 medications. And I know that some people get to a point where they are taking that many medications, and you literally have to have somebody playing traffic cop for all the medications. Does this medication interact with this medication? And it's like, my goodness. So you worked with this particular person, and what happened?
Well, I'm a toxicologist, so I looked at the medication that she's taken. There's some contraindication for some of the medications, of course, and there's side effect. I made him aware of the side effect, potential side effect. What I noticed, actually, Austin, his eating habits, his drinking habits, he was drinking like diet soda and soda. He was eating bacon. He was eating all of the bad meats at the wrong time, wrong quantities. He does not like vegetables. He did not eat any fruits. His lifestyle, like he would be scoring about 15-20% on the wellness IQ.
Wow.
And then we get him to drink the water. We get him to, reluctantly, we get him to stop the bacon, to stop all of the bad stuff that he was eating, all of the wheat, all of the crap he was drinking, the food that he was eating. And in 9 months, he actually achieved 50% opening in his clogged arteries at 79. And instead of staying at hospice and going to palliative care and dying, that's 1998. He's still alive today. He's actually over 100 today, and he's doing just fine. No medications, 0 meds, no bypass, no stents, and he was so happy to be living healthy, just following healthy lifestyle. So now we talk to people about lifestyle medicine, integrative medicine, functional medicine. These are the medicine of the future people have to be aware of. And these are the specialty now taught at Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Cleveland Clinic, and even Mayo Clinic. So these are the things that people have to be aware of and have to look into. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Is prevention is better than intervention. We give them education about their body.
Prevention is better than intervention.
Exactly. Prevention is always better than intervention. I wish I knew this at age 18 what I know now.
Well, there's a lot of people that we can still reach by, and we know, I know that and your thoughts and emotions, it's no secret that affects your biochemistry as well.
100%. Whatever you think about, it becomes thoughts are things, like thoughts make up You see, we have in integrative medicine, we talk about healthy cells at the foundation, healthy cells. We even can go down further to healthy mitochondria, healthy ribosomes that makes healthy cells, that make up healthy tissues, that make up healthy organs, that make up healthy systems. So it's from the bottom up, not from the top down. Because in allopathic medicine, unfortunately, they focus in their training and also in the diagnostic skills, what's wrong with the systems. So we have actually a doctor for every system. We have cardiologists for the heart. We have nephrologists for the kidney, hepatologists for the liver. We have psychologists for the brain. So every organ, every system in the body has to be treated by a different specialist. But the integrative doctor treats with the whole body because you have to look at cells first, and then tissues, and then systems. You see, it has to be from the bottom up. That's how you build a house, by the way. You have to put the foundation first.
Yes.
And then you have to put the walls and you put the roof. Have you ever built a house putting the roof first and then you put the walls? And then
no, absolutely not. And that's why I love that you start with the basics. And we're going to get into that. I want people to, we're getting into some conversation about overall wellness, but we're also going to bring it to you to what you can do in a simple way. And I have something right here, Dr. Grant, that I've been drinking every single day because of your recommendation. I'm going to take a little sip now, so we'll have to share what this is.
H2O. We all need H2O. Our body is 7% water.
And well, I'm referring to the other cocktail that you recommend, but yes, let's hit water first.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually talking about the other thing that you recommended to me.
The detox.
Yes.
Apple cider vinegar, lemon. It's simple. A little bit of turmeric, a little bit of ginger, just a small amount, pinch of those stuff to clean your liver, to clean your gallbladder, to detox your system. It's so simple. It's all on the Wellness IQ, academyofwellness.com. Very inexpensive. It doesn't cost much to add apple cider vinegar and lemon juice and turmeric and ginger. It's not that rocket science. We need to clean the body. We need to cleanse and detox the body on a daily basis. And that's what I'm drinking, and that's what you're drinking right now.
Does that help with the immune system? Does that help boost your immune system?
It does boost the immune system, 100%. 100%.
So how does it help boost the immune system?
Because when we detox our body, we leave the body with no toxins, because toxins are the most damaging thing for the immune system. The air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food that we eat. So if you eat a bad food that has lots of free radicals, that can cause problem with the immune system. And the immune system is right in the middle of the chest. It's called thymus. It starts with THYMUS. That makes your T cells and makes NK cells and B cells. These are T lymphocytes are the one that actually make the immune system. So when you test somebody with any autoimmune like fibromyalgia or MS or any lupus or any of these kind of condition, Lyme disease, they have a problem with the immune system, and they have an autoimmune disease. Now, the allopathic model, I'm not criticizing the allopathic model here because they put them on some sort of antidepressants. They think that's all in their head. So by giving them antidepressants, it's not going to work. You have to boost the immune system first by boosting the thymus. So in my recommendations on the website, academyofwellness.com, I said we all need vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 sunshine vitamins, about 10,000 IU per day. And we all need 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day. We all need zinc, 80 milligrams per day. We all need methyl B complex. It has to be methylated because the methyl form is much absorbed than, like if you take methylcobalamin, it's better than cyanocobalamin for B12.
Yeah, let me jump in for a second, Dr. Grant, because I know your knowledge is so deep, but we want to make sure that everybody's on the bus that's listening here.
Okay.
Okay. If you're listening and you're getting bits and pieces, we're gonna make sure you get this, but we're gonna be doing a live Zoom call after this, and the link is on the bottom of the screen. It's healthy.yourflashpoint.com. You'll have time, and you're gonna go there, and I'll also put the link in the comments, and we're gonna go into a live Zoom call. You're gonna be able to ask Dr. Grant some questions that you may have. We go a little deeper. So right now we're giving you like an overview, so you're not gonna get everything right here. We're just sharing some bits and pieces, but I just want to hit Michelle. She's asking, do you make this or do you buy this beverage already made? The answer is you make it.
Yeah.
You make it. It's pennies on the dollar. Yeah. And I've learned, and I added a little cayenne pepper. So you can get, right now I'm using the seasoning turmeric, but I want to move to getting the raw turmeric.
Yes.
Raw ginger.
Yes.
freshly squeezed lemon, apple cider vinegar,
Yes.
and I add a little cayenne pepper to mine because
Excellent. Actually, the cayenne pepper is good idea because it activate the curcumin, or it's the active ingredients of turmeric, to make it more bioavailable or more bioactive. So it's a good idea. In fact, it helps with circulation, and it helps the heart. It's actually open the arteries. Amazing. If you can just add a pinch of cayenne pepper or any kind of pepper, that would be amazing. It's a great idea, actually. I should.
And they say, you know what? Variety is the spice of life. So get some little cayenne pepper in there, and get that healthy tonic going. Please share this too, by the way, because Dr. Grant is brilliant. He's been studying this for over 35 years in all different modalities. So this is valuable information, and we're going to go into some more tips too. What else would be good for somebody? And let me just hit this real quick, because I love this, because I talk about everybody thinks about the goal, right? You think about, what am I adding to boost my immune system? That's right. What am I adding? And we talked about that. But I don't want to miss this. It's not so much what we're adding, it's what we are removing.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Right? It's this drink that helps remove the toxins first.
Yes.
I liken it to, if you've ever put a roof on a house, a lot of times roofers will go over the old roof. But at some point, you have to go back down and start from the beginning, because everything starts to get dry rotted underneath of that.
Correct.
And compromised. And I think a lot of people do this with their health, right? They do this with their health.
The foundation is the key for everything we do. Foundation. You got to get down to the root cause. Getting down to the root cause, Austin, is common sense. Unfortunately, common sense is uncommon. We need physician for emergency medicine. But if the physician tells somebody to take medication for blood pressure for the rest of their lives, there's other ways, other natural ways to help the person within 3 to 6 months, like I've done with so many of my clients, help them. I do not prescribe any medicine. I help them to eat proper food, the 9 vegetables per day, the 2 fruits, to do the water, as we talked about, to do the belly breathing, to reduce their stress, to exercise, go out in the sunshine. It's simple stuff. And then in 3 months, their blood pressure is normal, and they go to their own physician, and they cut down baby steps on their medications. I do not tell anybody to stop meds or cut on meds. They go to their own physician and do this, because I do integrative. I do not do any allopathic medicine. I am a toxicologist. I'm a scientist. Actually, I'm a scientist. Before I earned my doctorate degree in integrative medicine, I became a scientist first.
Integrative medicine.
I do everything scientifically. Everything. I published 250 papers. Anyway, your viewers can go to my website, academyofwellness.com. Look at my complete bio. I'm here not to talk about me. I'm talking about your clients. Yes.
We're talking about exactly. So I really love this dialogue, Dr. Grant, because it's so important for people to understand this, to get back to the foundations. And I will say this: people are programmed to only go to crisis care.
Yes.
Which again, and we're not here to knock that at all.
No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But it's just to draw perspective on. And I think some people may say, well, how can I deal with a crisis by doing these things? Like, I don't think they can connect it in their mind. I think it can be hard to say, well, I'm dealing with an illness, a disease, something I didn't expect has happened to me. How can I just start, drinking this? And how can this possibly reverse that? And you have proof of we're dealing with thousands of people, but I think that can be a hard step for people to understand, because they're so used to go into crisis care or traditional medicine.
Yes.
And it's not the only option all the time. And you just proved it by your story.
The simplest thing, Austin, is education. You have to educate the client. There's other methods that you can do. For instance, if somebody consuming too much sugar, which causes inflammation, which causes, it can cause type 2 diabetes. If you're consuming too much soda and too much sugar, it may even cause insulin resistance. It may cause neuropathy. It may even cause other heart problems and so on. So we have to educate the person to cut back on the sugar, not to stop it, because it's highly addictive. So cutting back on sugar will reduce their inflammation, and then also reduce their dependency on insulin, because once you reduce the sugar intake, you reduce the amount of insulin, because insulin is highly, highly inflammatory. And insulin can cause actually gaining weight. And so we need to regulate the high and low of the blood sugar, for instance, to
Yes.
provide a healthy immune system, a healthy pancreas, a healthy liver. Because people who consume sugar, they have high triglyceride that can contribute to fatty liver and fatty gallbladder. So the answer here is not to give them medication. The answer is to find out the cause for this and educate them. The basic thing here is about education.
Education.
What we do here, 99% is educate the clients what to do. I have many clients who've seen me for many years. And once you educate them, they depend less and less on meds and more on natural ways. I had somebody, Austin, who was taking 5 antidepressant medications. I tell them
five antidepressant medications.
Antidepressants, and they were taking it for like 7 years, and they're still depressed. So some antidepressant medication works, and others do not work. Not for everybody, but for this particular person, it did not work, and he was still depressed. He would still have a lot of stress. So I told him, have you ever tried something called B3, which is niacin or niacinamide? Because niacinamide has been shown by one of the top scientists in the world, which I happen to work with him personally in Saskatoon. His name is Dr. Abraham Hoffer. In 1980, he did some research on using niacin, people who have depression and anxiety, even people who have schizophrenia or bipolar. Within 4 months, he was helping clients to reverse their anxiety and mental illness using B3, niacin, B1 thiamine, and B2 riboflavin, and B12 methylcobalamin. Just a B complex. I was doing this research at the Faculty of Pharmacy in Saskatchewan on beta endorphins. In fact, our team were the first to isolate beta endorphins in Saskatchewan. He was so interested about the connection of between beta endorphin and serotonin, which helps people to balance their mood and so on, and GABA and dopamine. So he was telling me, he was sharing his story with me on this, and he said, I'm getting remarkable recovery using the B complex, methylated B complex, using all of the stuff, and I get 4 months recovery from these people. So I told this to my clients who have never had any success with amitriptyline or Prozac or Xanax or any of those antidepressants. We put them on B complex. Austin, 2 months later, he felt very good, and his own physician, his own psychiatrist, cut him off all meds, all antidepressants. We're talking about 60 days. So
60 days. Let me stop for a second. If you're that person that you can't see the connection, if you can give it 30 to 60 days, I believe you can change your life, change your health. You can change everything quicker than you realize.
Yeah. I fully understand. But you see, if you look at the medical literature right now, they say that niacin can cause flush. Yes, if you take niacin, it can cause your skin to be hot and you get red. But if you use niacinamide, the amide form of the niacin, which is B3 called niacinamide, you can get it from any store.
B3 niacin.
Niacinamide is non-flush. It does the same thing as niacin, so you don't have to have this flush. So most psychiatrists in the US and Canada, they say, well, niacin is not really the answer for even though Abraham Hoffer was a psychiatrist, he was a medical doctor, he's done extensive research. He's #1 scientist in the world. And I'm talking about, he's a Canadian scientist, but he's published. In fact, he did work with Linus Pauling in California. Okay, he's very well known worldwide. Mm-hmm. He's a Canadian. He lived in Saskatchewan and was there 40 years. Actually, my goodness, now, 40 years ago. And he had he published a study. He did 10 books with very, very bright doctors like him, like Dr. Andrew Saul. So many doctors write books with him, including Linus Pauling and so on. And he taught us that the methyl B complex can reverse an anxiety, which we're living in a stressful situation right now. People complain about anxiety and stress because of what's going on in the news right now. So I tell them, turn the news off and just take B complex. You'll be fine, just fine. Everything will be fine. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. You're gonna be fine. Taking vitamin D or go out and get some sunshine, get some vitamin C, and get the B complex, and then use zinc, because zinc is the most important mineral for the immune system.
Zinc. That's the key right there. So what we're going to do?
Yeah, zinc is very important. Actually, men needs more zinc than women because it's a very important mineral for prostate health. In fact, maybe I should share the song with you. They always say, zinc for dink, zinc to think, zinc if you stink, zinc to shrink. Zinc has so many, zinc for the immune system. I mean, it is so important minerals. Also for women as well, because it helps them with so many aspect, not just the immune system,
Yeah,
with all of the womenhoods. If you understand what I'm talking about,
I
your,
do.
your
And
blood loss and your menstruation every month.
this is a great, there's a lot of information in here. What we're
Yes.
going to do here, we're going to make a transition. So I'm going to give folks some time. Thank you for listening tonight. This is Dr. George Grant, PhD, former professor at University of Toronto, 35 plus years in dealing with integrative medicine. And we had some great conversation here tonight about getting healthy, about building your immunity. I know some of it came at you fast, so that's why we're going to have a private Zoom call and you're free to join. I'm going to share the link here. And this way, what you can do, you can click on the link and you can join us tonight. And if you have questions, or if Dr. Grant covered something you didn't quite get it, we're going to give you an opportunity to ask a question.
Mhm.
And maybe tonight you walk away with a new action that you can take to improve your health and well-being. How about that?
Yes. Yes.
I think that sounds like a
Michelle
good
was
plan.
asking here, which B supplements? We call it methyl B complex. This is the one that will absorb the highest, because most people have problem absorbing the regular methyl B. And methyl B is, like, for instance, B12, there are two kinds, cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin. Methylcobalamin absorbs 3 times as much as methylcobalamin. So this is important to know. Okay, so that is what we need to get, is a methylated form of the B complex. That's the answer to Michelle's
Okay.
question.
So we're going to transfer over, but why don't you share your zinc little song again? Because that's kind of funny. This is
They always say zinc for dink, zinc to think, zinc if you stink, zinc to shrink. If you want to lose weight, you can use lots of zinc. Zinc for the immune system, zinc for the liver, zinc for the kidney. Zinc is important for every cells, every tissues, every organs, every system in the body. This, of course, the other minerals, chromium is so important for regulating blood sugar, but zinc seems to play a very important role for the immune system. Yes, chromium is important. Magnesium is so important also for the immune system, and it also helps for muscle, as a muscle relaxant. So if somebody have any tight muscles, any cramps, they take just magnesium. And by the way, Austin, not every supplements in the world are the same. So people have to understand that synthetic supplements have minimal absorption or minimum bioavailability. So please do not go for synthetic supplements kind of stuff from the box store. Get supplement that's known to be published, proven clinically, predictable, and it actually give you the results that you need within the 2 to 3 months that we want to try this on. So this is important to understand that. And some of the supplements, synthetic supplements, have artificial colors and flavors. I don't want to name any brands, but you already know what I'm talking about. They
Yes.
have things that's artificial colors number 40 and artificial colors number 3, tartrazine, which actually has very harmful toxicological effect. So if you know any women who are taking Materna, for instance, tell them not to take that because it has lots of artificial colors and flavors. As you mentioned, I was working for Health Canada and the FDA and the CDC, and I actually told the people at Health Canada we should put a warning label on Materna and One-A-Day and Centrum, because not only that they're not quite bioavailable, they only absorb 5%, and the rest become expensive urine, but they have the artificial colors and flavor, which is dangerous for somebody who's pregnant, carrying a baby. So if they have this artificial colors and flavors, it's not highly recommended. So you got to use natural, proven, published, predictable supplements. We do not talk about any brands at this show right here, but we talk about something that has been scientifically available. So like you can actually search the science, published data. And that's what I take, and that's what I recommend to people to do and try it. It's guaranteed. And that's the best thing that your viewers can take. I have many clients who've been taking my recommendations, and they recover from diabetes, blood pressure, fibromyalgia, MS, lupus, pain. If somebody have pain, please do not use any over-the-counter medication like Tylenol or aspirin or Advil, because they have side effects. Some people think that if it's over-the-counter, it's safe. It is not. I'm a toxicologist. Aspirin can cause gastric bleeding. Tylenol can affect the liver. Advil can affect the heart. I mean, this is known. It's not privileged information. But if they take medication, let's say, if they have, acid reflux, and they take PPI, like Nexium, Pentaloc, or cimetidine, ranitidine, any of this stuff, to suppress the acid, it has side effect. It can cause actually increased triglyceride. It can increase LDL cholesterol. It can affect the insulin resistance. It can cause even dementia. So if we want to take something to suppress the symptoms, we need something to address the root cause of. So if somebody have acid, look what they're eating. Maybe they are eating acidic food. Sugar is very acidic. Soda is very acidic. Coffee with milk and sugar is very acidic, and so on. So if you go to black coffee, one black coffee per day, and instead of drinking soda, they go and drink water. Okay, that would be my recommendations. Simple,
Yeah, the basic foundation. And so and so Sarah, I see your question here. We're going to be jumping on a Zoom call. We'd love to have you join. Anilda's on. I'm going to put the link in here. We're going to go a little bit longer here, but only because I want to give folks some time and opportunities to join us on the Zoom link.
Yes.
And so if you're looking for the link, how you join us on Zoom is you look across the screen. It says healthyyourflashpoint.com. You see that flashing across the bottom? If you go there, you're going to just fill out. There's a basic form. We're going to give you the Zoom link right away. It's going to come up on a thank you page, and you're going to be able to join us right away tonight. Because for some of you, this is a right now thing. Like, you don't need to wait anymore about your good health. You start now. And I wanted to do this call with Dr. Grant because it's important that we become this is Anilda actually. I love this. It's become an advocate in your own health and well-being. Become your own advocate. You don't, because that just to your point, that does, and I wanted to share this earlier, but when you become educated, the fruit of that is more options.
Yes.
It doesn't always have to be this way based on one recommendation, one over-the-counter. That's one option. There's other ways. And I wanted to share this, Dr. Grant. It makes sense. If you think about it, if you take a pharmaceutical or an over-the-counter, it's such a concentrated piece of, it's a concentrated concoction that your body has to process in some way, shape, or form. And it may come in and it may hit its goal because that's what people want. They want that quick. But to your point, there's an aftermath. There's residual damage that may happen immediately, or it may happen over time if you're taking over-the-counter products. Whereas what you're talking about is a natural progression to remove the toxins, give the body what it needs when it needs it, so the body can do what it does best.
Exactly.
And I think that's a key differentiator for people.
100%. In fact, you're absolutely correct, Austin. Some doctors recommended taking baby aspirin to prevent heart disease. And that recommendations came from one of the famous cardiologists. His name is Dr. John Foltz at the University of Wisconsin Medical School. He's done research for 28 years, funded by Bayer, to show that baby aspirin helped to prevent heart disease. However, 6 years ago, Dr. John Foltz published results at the American College of Cardiology. He said that he found something instead of aspirin that may cause bleeding, may cause gastric irritation, may even cause gastric ulcer. To prevent heart disease, he used a mixture of bioflavonoids, including something called resveratrol, including grapeseed extract, grape skin extract. And he said that this mixture of bioflavonoids can even prevent heart disease without side effect, much more than aspirin. And this is fine. You can just Google Dr. John Foltz, Folts, Google the American College of Cardiology, Google his work, and it's been published. It's been shown that a mixture of bioflavonoids like resveratrol, grapeseed, grape skin extract, things like in red wine. I'm not recommending now everybody go drink red wine, but this is like the pigment from red wine called OPC. In the long chemistry name, it's called oligomeric proanthocyanidins. If you can say this 5 times in a row, it would be amazing. Or LOC, leucoanthocyanidins. These are the stuff that's in the grapes, in the seeds, and something called quercetin that actually prevent clogging of the arteries, atherosclerotic plaque. So when you publish this, everybody's saying, "My goodness, I don't need aspirin anymore, baby aspirin anymore." Anyway, he's now promoting the natural alternative. Many cardiologists now are following his footsteps. And that is what I use for the guy who had 99% clogged arteries. I use this mixture of bioflavonoids to help him to recover from this. And it's been documented that this thing helps him to recover. Anyway, so there's always a natural alternative instead of taking aspirin or Advil or Tylenol to mask the symptoms. There's other natural stuff without any side effect. Because in toxicology, we study long-term and short-term side effect, right? Mm-hmm. if something is natural, better than doing synthetic, as you mentioned, then we can use this first. And if it doesn't work, then maybe use the medications or use the operation after that. But first, let's use something natural first. And if that fails, then we have other ways. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I think if you give the body enough time, unless it's like, unless it's a life or death situation,
yes,
you know, if you give the body enough time, it will course correct. I mean, I really believe that. I really do. And I know you have story after story where that's happened.
Thousands. The body has the capacity to heal if we're giving it the right raw materials, the proper diet, the proper exercise.
At the right time.
Fluids, including H2O. And it's basic stuff, but we don't talk about the basic stuff because if you do not, in fact, if you go to a physician and you don't write a prescription, you may think that this person is not quite, qualified to become a doctor. But the best medicine sometimes is just no medicine. It's just follow your lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I don't know. You probably would know this more than me, but wasn't there a doctor that began to treat people based on water alone?
Yes, many doctors did that. And Thomas Edison said the doctors of the future will use food as their medicine. In fact, Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said, "Let your food be thy medicine, and your medicine be thy food." I mean, this is the Hippocratic oath that every doctor, whether it's natural or allopathic or integrative or anything, that's the Hippocratic oath that everybody have to sworn by. Yeah. So yes, and some doctors actually, Nikola Tesla actually is the first one that said, in the future, is going to be energy medicine, and the top doctors in the world would be using energy and frequency to help to identify the real cause, to use education to tell people about how to help them, to empower them to live healthy, to live through lifestyle. So that is what we're doing right now, is using frequency medicine, energy medicine, quantum biofeedback to help people to understand their body and to educate them about how important water is, H2O, how important O2 is, quantum belly breathing, and how important going in the fresh air outside and so on.
Yes, actually, and I want to, we're gonna transition over to Zoom here, everyone. So stay with us. But one of the things that I read was in preparing for this, and it's interesting. But when people stay inside together in the winter, that actually increases the spread of disease.
Correct.
And illness.
In fact, indoor air can have more problem indoor than outdoor. Even if you live in a very busy city, but still outdoor air is still like you go in a park or something and go in the trees, and because you get more oxygen that way, it's much better than indoor. If you stay indoor for a long time, maybe open the windows or something, because people sometimes need, fresh air. It's very, very, very important. So yes, so exactly what Carrie is saying here, you're either feeding the disease or fighting one. So every bite of food that we eat, either we actually creating a disease or preventing or reversing a disease. Every bite. So next time, if you're addicted to Oreo or addicted to any of the chocolate bars or addicted to Coca-Cola or we're not against any soda company, we're not against the tobacco company, but if you smoke, there's consequence for that. If you drink soda, there's consequence for that. If you drink even juice, you know what, Austin, people don't realize that drinking juice, commercial juice, has high fructose corn syrup that can cause actually diabetes. In fact, if you look at the curve for high fructose corn syrup in the past 30 years and the curve of diabetes, they're identical slope. The more we use high fructose corn syrup, not just in juices, in soda, but in so many other food items.
Exactly.
It's just like it's the same thing as the type 2 diabetes.
Yep. So let me jump in, Dr. Grant, because I want to get, if you want to join us on the Zoom call, please type in the word healthy. Type in the word healthy if you want to join us in the Zoom call right after this, everyone. We're going to do a private Zoom call with Dr. Grant. If you're dealing with something, you have questions, I hope you understand what you're hearing tonight is extremely valuable. It's for your own health. It's for your own well-being. Type in the word healthy if you'd like to join us on the Zoom call. And we want to just acknowledge everyone. Okay. So because I want to get enough people here. I want to honor Dr. Grant's time. So you understand? So I need to know if you want to join us on the Zoom call after and do some Q&A. So Michelle, Carrie, thank you very much. I've talked to both of you. I'm excited to have you join. I believe Tony's going to be joining us. Sarah, I would welcome you to join us. I know you got some questions here that I'm going to save for after. But yeah, type in the word healthy if you want to join us. Okay. Thank you, Emgart Packer. I believe I'm saying your name right. Thank you so much. So type in the word healthy. Sarah signed up. Okay, we're getting some signups for the Zoom call after. And I really want you to take action tonight for your own health. I really do. We can all do a better job. Dr. Grant talks about how healthy I am, but I'm here looking at, am I getting enough zinc? And especially with how it's going to help my manhood, I probably want to I probably want to pay attention to that. So we need to get some more zinc in me. Okay, so we got healthy. We got some people here. Okay, Dr. Grant, are you okay with time if we transition over to the Zoom call?
Sure. I invite all my affiliates, all my clients to join us and tell us your story and tell us how we helped you and so on. That will add a lot of value to this call. Yes, go ahead, Austin. Go
yes,
ahead.
we want to help you get healthy, and I want to help you remove the limiting beliefs.
Yes.
Remove the toxins.
Yes.
Remove the limiting beliefs.
Important.
Increase your energy. Open up every cell, and let's move forward together and create some amazing things together. All right. I'm going to type in the link. I see some folks that have typed in the word healthy. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to type the link in again to make sure everybody gets it. Healthy.yourflashpoint.com. If you go there, you're going to see, I'm going to do a screen share here real quick.
Okay.
Okay, let's enter the stream. Okay, can you see that, Dr. Grant?
Yes, I do. I see it. Yes.
So if you go to that website, healthy.yourflashpoint.com, you're going to see this. So you can click here or scroll down. Just put your name and email in. You're going to hit send me to the Zoom info. And then you're going to get a thank you page, and the Zoom link is going to be right there. So that's how it's going to work. Just healthy.yourflashpoint.com, and you're going to be able to join us on the Zoom call. What we're going to do now, I'm going to end this. This stream here is going to end, okay?
Yes.
And grab the link, put your name and email in. You're going to get the link right away, and you can join us on the Zoom call, and we can have some dialogue around this and go a little bit deeper and talk about some next steps for you and start to go on the road to better health, better energy, better vitality.
Yes.
Better life. Right, Dr. Grant?
Living longer, younger, and healthier. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Grant. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. The invitation is there to join us on Zoom right now. It's 7:48 p.m. We are over schedule a little bit, but this is valuable. We want to honor you, get your questions answered. So everyone, give me a minute. I'm going to spin up the Zoom call, and I'll see you over there.
Okay.
All right. See you in the Zoom call, everyone. Bye for now.